Your Money, brought to you by the Welch Group.
All right, it's Tuesday, which means we're looking at how to best make the money work for you.
That's right. Last week we discussed the implications for those in the baby boomer generation who want to sell their homes.
Now this week, 48's Jonathan Skinner is talking to financial expert Marshall Clay from the Welch Group on what you can do if you're interested in buying a home.
So last week we talked a little bit about baby boomers and the sort of tax implications if they're selling homes. Of course, buying homes, another part of this, being a part of the market. Tell us what some of the people interested in potentially buying, what kind of things those boomers need to worry about.
Yeah, so the big decision revolves around whether or not you're going to make a lateral move or you're actually going to downsize. And I'll caution our viewers that, a lot of people think, oh, okay, I can sell my house and I can downsize to a smaller home, and that's going to allow me to remove equity from that dynamic and actually put it for savings or spending or whatever else. The problem with that in today's market is that there's tons of demand for these starter homes, right? You've got baby boomers that are looking to downsize, and you have millennials and other generations that are looking to maybe buy their first home. So you see a lot of these starter home values really escalating in price. So sometimes a downsize in terms of size is not necessarily downsizing in terms of price. So I caution people on that. So that's kind of the lateral versus downside. Now, if you're making a lateral move where you're going to just another house, a lot of times you're not able to extract any equity from that dynamic. And a lot of times you're actually putting in more capital to buy furniture, because oftentimes the furniture doesn't fit into the new house, and there's just expenses associated with that. So be aware of that. And a lot of folks are hoping to be able to buy with cash. Okay, and the reason for that is you have a lot more negotiating leverage when you get into these deals. A lot of people that are selling, they say, hey, look, they far more like to sell to somebody buying in cash, so they don't have to deal with contingencies. They don't have to worry about the deals falling through on the back end. So if you've got the ability to buy with cash, that gives you strategic advantage in the negotiations, and it also allows you to avoid these still kind of sticky high mortgage rates, right? I mean, they've come down a little bit from 7.5%, but we're still at 6 to 6.25%. So relative to just 5 or so years ago when we were at 2.875 or 3%, it's still really high. So it helps you avoid that dynamic. And then if you don't have the cash, which a lot of people are in that situation, if you're thinking about financing, not only consider the rate. So a lot of times people say, oh, well, it's 6.25 or whatever, but there's a lot more to it than that. There's a lot of hidden banking fees that you're getting charged that a lot of times they're just wrapping up in these mortgages, so you're not having to come out of pocket, but still it's a cost to you. So if there's other assets that you have out there, whether it be a home that has a lot of equity, and maybe you could tap into a home equity line of credit, or maybe leverage some existing investment assets. So we have a lot of clients that do that. They leverage their existing savings in order to facilitate some of those deals. It can help save you thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars in these banking fees, because a lot of people are just trying to bridge a couple of months, right? They want to buy this new house or they want to make this move, and so they leverage those assets, and then they sell their current home maybe a month or two down the road, and then they're able to close out these sort of leverage loans, if you will. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, but I think it's important for our viewers to understand that as they're buying, really try to think through lateral move versus downsize. Is it truly a downsize in terms of price, or is it just a downsize in terms of actual size? And then thinking through, hey, what are my options in terms of financing these deals if I do not have cash?
Absolutely, a lot to consider.
Absolutely,
as well. All right, thank you so much, Marshall, for taking the time. Remember, you can always watch Your Money segments on our website, WAFF.com, or here every Tuesday at 4 p.m.